What is up, guys? I'm back with another YouTube video. Hope you guys had a fantastic Monday as well as a fantastic weekend. The account is currently at 52,500. We're almost there to passing this eval. Today we are up. Took two break-even trades and one winning trade. Some good things that I did today. I think I played defense well, especially just because Monday no news. So I'm definitely, I'm kind of happy that I played my break evens correctly, because it would have like stopped me out, and then I would have been at a loss, right? So that was one thing I did good. Another thing I could fix is just, I think, taking better setups, right? There's definitely some chop today, and I was holding some throughout the chop, and it was just all over the place, right? But just a weekly outlook for you guys. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we do have red folder news. On top of that, Trump goes into office on the 20th. So next week. So you can definitely expect some volatility. Make sure to size accordingly. Remember, defense wins games. The important thing is that you don't blow your account. You live to fight another day. Yeah, but on another note, thank you guys for 100 subscribers. Let's go. I've been consistently uploading for around a month and a half or so, almost 2 months. And the fact that we reached 100 subscribers within such a small time frame, it really means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying the journey, right? Of just, the ups and downs, the win streaks, the losing streaks of just me, trying to make it as a trader, right? And hopefully you guys can relate to some of the stuff going through, what's happening within the videos. So again, thank you guys so much. This means a lot. But let's jump into today's video. So looking on the higher time frame on the 4-hour, what I was really expecting us. Yesterday I highlighted this 4-hour. This gets inverse. I'm targeting this level up here at 473. If we go lower on ES, I really want this 797, which is just daily equal lows. But honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna give up on these. I think I've been too fixated like on these daily lows, and I think it's just kind of been messing up with my bias a little bit. I've been looking way too zoomed out instead of intraday. Since we're day trading, right? You want to look intraday, so you want to zoom in a bit on the lower time frames. But on the day, I think I've been too zoomed out, too fixated on these. I should really just use these as a source of like draw of liquidity when we get near it, and be like, okay, like if we're over here, if we're down here, and I see an inverse, okay, I'm targeting these equal lows, right? But I've been too fixated on these equal lows ever since like we've been up here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna ease it a little bit away from these daily equal lows. If we get closer and I see a setup to the downside, to the equal lows, then that's when I'll start paying attention to. But right now I'm having it highlighted. Who knows, we might hit those this week, but definitely been too fixated on that, and I think it's been messing me up a little bit, especially with today. But let's just jump into today's stuff. So let me go ahead and play the replay. That's 6:30. 6:30. Okay, cool. So market opens. I'm just waiting. I'm absolutely not taking anything. Let's see what price is doing. Again, we're just going up, going up, going up, going up. I'm going up. Okay, so here at this point in time, I see that we are respecting this 1 minute for value gap over here. On top of that, we have a higher time frame for value gap. Now, I don't know if we do have an SMT somewhere here. Yeah, so we do have somewhat of an SMT here. So, yeah, so we have an SMT here. This is what I was looking at, right? Now, where was the trade that I wanted to take? The first trade I wanted to take was this inverse for value gap right over here at this 1 minute, right? So I wanted to take this trade. but I don't. Yeah, we actually don't end up getting it, right? We just continue bouncing off of it. I was like, okay, we inverse this. I would have taken this trade. This would have been a solid trade. You know, stop loss here, target over here. Could have had TP at this low down here, especially because it's inside of a rally gap. But that didn't happen, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just continue watching. So I just basically just let it go on. Again, I'm just looking. Now we actually tap into this 15-minute fair value gap. Now, is there an SMT? No SMT here. So we tap into this 15-minute fair value gap here, and I'm like, okay, we're not inversing this. You know, order flow still somewhat remains bearish, right? So I'm looking at this, and if you look on the 2-minute, there's actually a 2-minute fair value gap here that looks really clean. I was like, okay, no, I'm in there. Like, I'm actually in there. So I take it off of this candle closure here. So stop loss, something like this. And I was basically targeting London lows. Yeah, London lows, which is down over here, right? So I was targeting London lows. I was like, okay, this looks pretty solid. So I take this, right? So I actually end up hitting break even right around here at this. Let me go ahead and fix this. So I actually end up hitting break even here, and I'm like, okay, this is looking really good, and stopped out, and then the rest is history, right? Yeah, so this was a break even trade. Again, I really wanted us to see this. Now, technically, I could have re-entered off of the retrace here and then come back lower, but I was like, okay, no, it's Monday, you know, break even one, so I'm gonna just wait again. So this was a break even trade. Looked really promising, right? 15-minute tap. Ended up taking out this right over here. And yeah, so this is the first trade. But let's say I did not do break even. Let's say I'm still in this trade after we come back to this fair value gap and retrace. I would have for sure hit break even here, right? And then it just ends up coming back up, right? So either way, it would have been a break even trade, even if I held it, right? So this was my first break even trade. This looks really good though. This actually looked insanely good, especially on the 2-minute, clean 2-minute on this fair value gap. On this fair value gap right over here. So yeah, that was the first trade. Now the second trade that I wanted to take was this on the downside. Let me go ahead and find it. Is it this? No, it's on the 1 minute. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh yeah, so it was this. It was actually this trade. Literally right after. I was like, okay. Starting to see a small little reversal here. Not only that. Yeah, so we started to see some, you know, bullish order flow. Bear fair value gap here. Started to go up. Right. We have a change in state of delivery. Now I actually entered off of this to the upside, and I was like, okay, I want to target, you know, this fair value gap, right? So this was a pretty solid trade in terms of RR. Now you're gonna see what ends up happening. Now this was the trade that actually was one of my winners. Yeah, so we ended up, yeah, so my first TP here was this right over here. And I was like, okay, you know, it's Monday. We're inside a 15-minute fair value gap right now. You know, I'm getting my, I'm currently in runners. Runners are running. Now, I would not be surprised if this instantly just flips back to the downside, right? So I was moving my my take profits just closer and closer, just because as soon as I see a big move back to the downside, my runners are going to end in profits, correct? And yeah, so that actually ends up saving me, and my runners ended up in profit. So this was a small trade today. 54 points, pretty solid, pretty good RR as well. And again, yeah, so it ended up in profits, and the rest was history, right? That's all she wrote for this trade. Now, the third trade actually that I wanted to take was this second one. I mean, this third one was around 8 o'clock. Now, I was giving this trade some wiggle room. So it was at 8 o'clock. And it had to do with this 5 minute here. So I was looking at this 5 minute. I was like, okay, if this 5 minute gets inversed, we go lower. And I still want London lows, right? I still want London lows. And it looks like we're still respecting this 15 minute fair value gap here, right? Look, we just tapped into it, wick. Now, I don't know if there is an SMT here. So there's a higher time frame SMT on the 15 minute. If you look here, right, we just completely swept out this high, and then ES didn't. So there's a big divergence here. So there's an SMT here on a higher time frame, tapped into a 15 minute fair value gap, right? So now, what am I looking at? I zoom into it. I zoom into the 1 minute, and I'm like, okay, zoom into the 1 minute. We're inside this 15. If this gets inversed right over here, I'm looking for shorts, right? This gets inversed. I'm looking for shorts, and I want to target London lows, or I would just target like one of these engineered lows right over here, right? So this would have been my trade. So the 5 minute actually ends up getting inversed, right? As you can see here, the 5 minute actually ends up getting inversed, and this 1 minute actually ends up getting inversed. So candle closure here, and I'm in this trade, right? I'm in this trade, and we hit this here. So I did stop loss. I mean, I did break even pretty soon, actually really soon. Give me a sec. Why is this not? Yeah, so I did my break even here. I was like, okay, this is just choppy. I'm getting pretty scared. If price really wanted to go lower, it would just shoot lower, right? Like maybe tap into this for value gap right over here. We almost did, but we didn't really, right? So I was like, okay, maybe tap into here. But I took my break even here really early just because, wanted to play defense. It's Monday, and it hasn't been really that smooth, right? There's just SMTs everywhere, and yeah, so I was giving it some wiggle room. I was letting it slide. I was like, okay, we're back here again. Now this was looking pretty promising here as well, right? We have a smaller fair value gap here that was somewhat holding. I was like, okay, this gets inverse. It might be GG's. Now we do see a bigger move here, and I actually end up TPing another one down over here. So I'm off 2 positions here as soon as we tapped into the top of this fair value gap. So I'm already out 75% of my position, and I see us coming back up. It's kind of choppy. I'm still holding, and ends up just taking me out fully here. And I was like, okay, that's pretty much it. I'm done. Wasn't really nothing good here. What I'm happy about what I did here was my break evens, right? Because if price wanted to shoot low for these lows right over here, it would just do it instantly, right? Like, what's up with all this chop? Like, this chop is just completely, I guess you can say we're bouncing off of this 1 minute for value gap here. But even then, like, again, on the 15 minute, we're tapping into a 15 minute for value gap. We just took out liquidity here. We have a higher time frame SMT. This looks textbook. This looks absolutely textbook. Now, I don't know if the trade was this one right over here. I think I definitely waited too long for this trade and took it too short down over here. I think the trade should have happened over here, and then something like this, right? I think this was the trade. I definitely do think this was the trade over here, and I missed it. But I was like, okay, if this gets inverse, it still looks pretty good, right? But break even, whatever. I was playing defense, rather do break even than actual lose, right? And I actually took positions out, so this is, if anything, this was a winner, right? I scaled 2 positions out in profit, so that was a winner. And yeah, I think that was it for my trades. There was one more trade that happened later on, which is a 2022 model, and I think this was the trade of the day. Let me go ahead and play. I'm pretty sure it happens like around 9 o'clock. Again, so we're just, we're just hanging around here. So this is the model, right? Sell side here. Not only that, I'm pretty sure there was a higher time frame SMT, or just the SMT in general. Yeah, so ES actually ended up taking out this low, while NQ did not. So we do actually have an SMT here, right? You have this, then you have your breakout structure right over here, and then you have your fair value gap retracement right over here. So this was a clean model. I had logged off by this. I was getting ready for work. Yeah, so I logged off by this, and then I logged on my laptop just to see what was happening in the market. Your stop loss could have been, the bottom of this low over here, or just a little bit under this fair value gap, right? And then potentially target here. And that's actually what ends up happening, right? So this was honestly the cleanest move of the day. This is a clean, let me see. It's still good. I'm pretty sure it ends up still going. Yeah, so this was a clean 122 points. Even more. Yep. This is a clean 157 points. Just with this ICT 2022 model, right? Really clean though, really clean. SMT, sell side, internal sell side swept, fair value gap, retracement, breakout structure, boom, right? Very good trades. But yeah, that was it for today. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. If I do trade, we'll see. And yeah, again, I appreciate you guys for the 100 subscribers. That means a lot. And stay safe. I love you guys. Peace.